Entianra no ekoje ta ewo Ghana Parliament. Afenyo Markin ene Mahama Ayariga omo ekwa class here. Ni nyina fa Accra flood na happen ene Thanksgiving service at the next day Mahama ehye no. Afenyo Markin say on tia say adenti na enzu ayiri. Afa okro mu ma amanfo japade asese enipa ewuwo ni ade na ade achen ya wabo fufuo mu ekro hankaji wo. Afenyo ebe blast Mahama na emu no ana Mahama Ayariga say won so ntia say adenti na Afenyo Markin kura e kada asem no. Eno na parliament ebusi aye butu esewoni. It is like a trap. More hard as my host. Best was said the demo. Obe like keep video not about bros button some by click verification connect latest update. Number to the bar during the mame. Ewo comment section. Oba so. Not your first any bash. Any can phone nala money send up any the amount. Oh USA. Oh UK. Open sense ka ebe fia some dream. Obe so dream be a ha. Hona o yam che scan akoduru go duru na yam che there. Nala force ya jono. E dey from promo code Penyah TV send sky for coffee. O message $20 for free. In fact, 216 fin nala ana broche for burger fee o bia dey send this ka ebe fee. First send this ka fee na a very smooth transaction. Let's go to say we say last week ni mo honomo ana inso kese eto e wa Accra no mantam ho e ma unfortunately for us no Accra e flood there. In fact, there was a severe flooding e cause so e wa Accra e ma amanfo ajapade e bra amanfo abo mu stores akese he e bia seseye phone shop iPhones akese ane board dingu honomo enso kowura honomo je say eniama property na japade asese de beburu ja na nipa na ewo mu no more than 34 because as I speak to you now no according to the interior minister chiremu say there are 6 more missing people nipa 6 bia yira asat na yenya hu wo ma chiri kwai and I believe say more than that because e bia nipa bo no kura na obi e bia ono nkwa na tie enso eyiri fa no obia enim se nipa because tibia bi there are more people. In fact, casualties recorded there bebrebe but just that yentim enya ni nyina anopo na se nipa 34 ana on records na abase omo ewu na that day no Mahama the private jet etufu awie mu ehwe the situation at hand but na professor your vice president hu na se bi situation happen nyina echi no wanko as obacha odwene ne manfo ho no ye hu ba bi se bia wo kokonsole wo bi debere hu ba bia ye hu ba bia se stress and the private jet etufu awie mu ana obeduru ye no or share say 350 million series bi yemfa ema the victims omu aye say atrenchem no oye na bridge kese na boy e bi fa omu ho no yenche sika we enfama wo mu ema na mfa ko bi na sika ne che ye be che ne sei 350 million series no ye ne sei ye che ne sei na ye de ma hwan condition be na ejina so e di sika no ye dis bese ama we kwa akofa conversation be eba media na so adachi Wednesday na ye 1st July 2026 I say Ghana hand the WC one say that into a national prayers and Thanksgiving Day as the Republic Day 1st July no they so for that ceremony it eduru na ko bia nim say atrenchem kase say ato Ghana oye ne kase say abon there anka program no either say one ye be twe akọ akire kakra because as of Wednesday no kra no na rescue team eguso of field that omo ye adwuma ye nyantim rescue bebrebe because na fresh a fresh issue. Yentim rescue bebrebe nipa na ewu kwentim recover bebrebe just na yentim handle the situation no about even 40% kwa yentim handle ye. Ntino bi nkobia nim say ne Thanksgiving service ni prayer day no ye be twa kwa akire kakra. But we to dismay. Adechi Wednesday no say program na koso. I said to the president John Drummond Mahama or the vice president no omo abo fufuo mu ne Nigeria omo abo fufuo mu Senegal nyina wa say omo abo fufuo Emma Hawker na Mahama to there shall be showers of blessing. I say Emma di we confirm komo bebrebe di ma media ne so. Ne because na Ghana no kura di asem nie. Ye ma me. Asem say went mama ho jenana. But ye ko Thanksgiving there. What team ye duru ho no mo ebe da nyame ase for there.
President together with the NDC, they are insensitive. The worst of all, the vice president who is a mother, who should have known better, who was moving from one market to the other prior to 2024 election, yes, asking them for their mandates. See, I am not doing politics, but I am being real to you this morning that in any serious situation, the vice president, if your president could not visit the people, the vice president who is a mother, who saw children dying, who begged this woman to vote for her, she only sat in her room 2 days after, went to sit on a podium in white apparel, dancing Palogo and Adowa, and you want me to sit here and poo-poo that they have done what I should clap for them? Please, hell no, I will not do that.
Did what? So that
I will not do that. Please stop it.
Now I want to understand.
Please, you can listen to me, take notes.
No, so that's why
I will not. I said the vice president failed to visit the victims.
It was wearing some white apparel.
During the National Thanksgiving prayer service.
But you quoted the Bible. You started by quoting Bible. So
hold on.
Do you believe in the Bible and the person?
I will take you to what crisis management, and you understand that when there are serious crises, you don't go and mount a puppet and be praying when people are dying. You need to first of all rescue the people.
Agree.
Emma media so. I'm for Benano. Ebeke can omo adwin. Na no. Ana nkomo no. Eno ale go pie mu Ghana Parliament. Afenyo Markin. Ene Honorable Mahama Ayariga. Oumi e clash cause na Afenyo enti na bia se adentina. Ensu ayira fa wo manma. Na ade chi a wabo fufuo mu e da nyame ase.
We have not seen the president visiting families. We saw him in the air. We saw him in the helicopter. Mr. Speaker, those who lost their lives, we have not seen any government official reaching out to them, their families. Those who lost properties, we have not seen any action from government. What we know is that the president was comfortably in the helicopter in the name of surveying, finding out. But Mr. Speaker, the people who suffered are in their homes. The people who suffered, Mr. Speaker, are Shipon. Is government taking data of those who suffered? My own Winneba, a photo, 6 communities were submerged. Jane Janazi, Atachado, Jahazi, Mr. Speaker, interacting with the chiefs and the people, Mr. Speaker, they are in pain. I've spent days with my people. Mr. Speaker, the roads have been cut off. They can't go to their farms, Mr. Speaker. That is the reality. We are talking about Accra. Winneba, 6 communities. Jane Johnson people cannot cross to Winneba. Jahazi, they cannot. Atachado, they cannot. Inswechi, they cannot. Osbonpeyin, they cannot. Atetu, they cannot. Silver Chrome, they cannot. That is the situation. Mr. Speaker, I think, hold the view that, Mr. Speaker, beyond the optics, government must demonstrate serious action. And I don't think they stand for anything. Yes. Mr. Speaker, they don't stand for anything. People have died. And the next day, I'm not against declaring a Thanksgiving Day. But how can people be mourning? And then the next day you are in white, with white handkerchief. What do you know that we don't know? What do you know that we don't know? People die, they are suffering, they've lost their properties. The next day you are wearing white, with white handkerchief. Okay, Thanksgiving. What are you thanking God for? We don't know what you know. Tell us. Mr. Speaker, I support your call as a father of this house that we should observe that day, engage our constituents in this cleanup exercise, keep our environment clean. I support it. But the government must do its side. The local government ministry.
Oh, then you must not on Tiasia. Emma or started this as a debate. Emma or start chipping in. And Emma Nadmu, Eba needs to send Nadmu, Edia Coma victims. No, Afenyo Markin ever boss. So
we have been told that some funds have been released to NADMO. Only yesterday, Mr. Speaker, we saw NADMO at Nima and Accra Newtown sharing baked beans and Indomie. Baked beans. Baked beans. Mr. Speaker, at Nima sharing baked beans and Indomie. When, Mr. Speaker, people have lost properties, Mr. Speaker, they need rice, they need maize, they need oil, cooking oil. Mr. Speaker, they need government to intervene to restore their businesses. Mr. Speaker, then, Mr. Speaker, we don't even know how they procured these baked beans. Mr. Speaker, people need blankets. People need mattresses.
Emma and Komonuano, Mahama Ayariga, Emma Busa, there was a heavy clash in Parliament yesterday.
Mr. Speaker,
Minority leader, but please, this is not a point of order. It's not
well,
point
Mr.
of
Speaker, I need to give him points of information.
No,
Mr. Speaker, he is misleading the House. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, don't come into this. He brought himself. He brought himself.
You know, I
it's
won't
about
come
my constituency.
Yes, please. Majority leader, you may continue.
So, Mr. Speaker, what happened last week and what happened in June is something that hardly ever happens in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, in 2025, the total rainfall was estimated at 56 millimeters. 56. On the day when we suffered the floods, it is reported that we had between 140 to 169 millimeters. Just 13 hours. 3 times the entire rain volume of 2025. All that poured into Accra within 13 hours. And Mr. Speaker, it is important to place the development in proper context. It is not just the rainfall of that particular day. The entire month of June, we experienced a lot of rains. So, according to the meteorologists, when you look at the data, the month of June alone experienced over 593 millimeters of rain. And that this has never happened in the history of Ghana. Never happened in the history of Ghana. Never happened in the history of Ghana. So the ground was already soaked. The ground was soaked. So when the downpour, which also hasn't happened since 1995, also came, the ground was already soaked. So I think that it is not in the best taste for us to turn the flooding into a political matter. We can discuss it,
yes.
But I can see clearly that people are politicizing the rainfall, people are politicizing the flooding, and we're still people are even trying to politicize the death that occurred during the flooding.
Majority leader, just a minute. Yes, please.
Speaker, with respect, the majority leader is now taking us into the arena of theories. Mr. Speaker, there's a real situation, policy failure. He should address it. He is the leader of government business. The government has failed in its policy. You are now saying the ground was soaked. Soaked with what? Soaked with what? Mr. Speaker, he now said the ground was soaked.
Minority leader, please.
With blood soaked the ground.
Please, this is not point of order. This is not point of order. Yes,
Speaker.
Majority leader, please, you may continue. Majority leader.
Talk about policy. Your government failed.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I think that as a House, we can express our sympathies, we can express our condolences, but let's avoid trying to politicize an occurrence that clearly from the scientific evidence before us could not have been anticipated by any government. In fact, according to the evidence, since 1995, we have never experienced such levels of rainfall. 1995. Such level of rainfall in one day. And throughout the history of Ghana, we have never experienced such rainfall within 1 month. So 1995, unprecedented one-day rain. Since Ghana was formed, unprecedented 1 month rain. We've never seen it. Go to meteorological department. The data is coming from them. That is where the data is coming from. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the problem that we're confronted with. But that doesn't mean that there are no policy failures. That doesn't mean that there are no institutional failures. And that doesn't mean that there is no human responsibility. Those factors are true, and members have raised all of them. As we speak, Mr. Speaker, the major cities of this country don't have master hydrological plans. The plans that exist were drafted many years ago, and they were for limited parts of the cities, and at that time they were drawn for smaller areas. And so if you look at the drainage infrastructure, the master drainage infrastructure, they cannot sustain the sudden expansion of our cities. And we haven't invested in this infrastructure. So there is a fundamental question of, are we making the right amounts of investments? I hear people talking about monies that have been made available by the World Bank, by IMF, and etc. The truth of the matter is that the volume and then the infrastructure volume that is needed, we need far more than what we are receiving. Let's discuss that. Let's debate that as a parliament. How do we mobilize the amount of monies needed for huge infrastructure development by way of the construction of primary drainage, secondary drainage, and then tertiary drainage? How do we invest in sanitation? These are issues that I expect this House to be debating and then making some recommendations. I have several times said that we are not cashing in on property rates. In the neighborhoods, the drains need to be constructed primarily relying on property rates. If you go to Regmanuel, you go to Trasalco, when it is flooding, you don't see flooding there. You hardly see flooding there because within the estates, the primary drainage infrastructure is well constructed, and the property owners are paying for it. When you step outside these estates, the primary drainage infrastructure, they are not constructed. Property owners are not paying property rates to assemblies because assemblies are not also coming to them to demand the property rates. And where do you expect the funding to construct the gutters in front of your homes? So we as Parliament, with oversight responsibility for these agencies, must get them up and doing in terms of their responsibilities. We need to insist that assemblies collect the rates, and that when the rates are collected, we need to insist that they go into the infrastructure needed for drainage in the community, in the neighborhood, so that central government can look at how to invest in the secondary and tertiary drainage infrastructure. But you can't have a central government cough out money for primary drainage, cough out money for secondary, cough out money for tertiary, and property owners are not willing to invest. And yet when the rains come and the floods come, they lose far more than they could have paid as property rates. They lose far more. And then when you ask them why they not paying property rates, they also tell you that the assemblies don't even come to ask for them. And when the assemblies come and collect the money, they don't put the money in the construction of their drains. So there is a problem, fundamental problem. And we as leaders must sit up and look at this and figure out how to deal with it, instead of trying to create the impression that because so many people died when NDC was in office the first time, and so many people died last week, then NDC must be bringing death. What kind of argument is that? And saying that when there is flooding across the country, and the president decides to take a helicopter just to have a clear view of what the situation is, that one is a problem. Why did you buy the helicopters as a government? Why did you buy the helicopters? so that when there is a need to use it to have a proper view of the country, you can do that. How can a president fashion policy if he doesn't appreciate the extent of the problem? So what is ever wrong with a president sitting in a helicopter to go around and see and check if the town is flooded? I am surprised. The president could have walked into a community, but walking into a community does not give you a global view of the problem. And the president deals with the problem generally, a global view of the problem, not micro views of the problem. I'm surprised that such an announcement by the speaker will be greeted with such responses. I'm surprised. But Mr. Speaker, the cleanup exercise is being proposed by government because the whole area has been flooded. A lot of materials have gotten into the drains, and for us to prepare for rains that will be coming, we need to generally clean the place, desilt the various drains, gather the waste, and then keep them at a safe distance so that when it rains in the next couple of days, we are sure that the drains will be able to carry the waters that will be coming down. So it is important for us as members of parliament to go back to our constituencies and then assist them, prepare them, mobilize, because in this instance we need to mobilize. We need to mobilize materials for cleaning, we need to mobilize trucks for hauling the waste to a safe distance. All that requires some investment. And as members of parliament, we all have some small common fund which is given to us. I urge you, you can draw on the common funds that have been given to you to support the effort to carry out the cleanup exercises that will free the drains and free the neighborhoods so that we can be safe when the rains come back. And Mr. Speaker, I also want to draw attention to the fact that we must sensitize our communities, because as we speak, whatever actions will be taken are temporary measures. But I urge the various agencies to prepare, and when the rain stops, let us as a country, please, let's face it, let's take the bull by the horns. Those who have built in waterways, we must demand that they account. Assemblies that have failed in their responsibility to safeguard, green areas and then Ramsar sites and areas that should absorb the water, let's hold the various assemblies to account. That is what we should be doing as leaders. If we do that, I believe that the environment will improve. Let's insist that the planning be done. People are building, and they are building in such a way that everywhere is being concreted. Who is approving those plans? Where you build and everywhere is concreted, the rains come and there is no empty soil that will absorb the water. Those are the issues that we should be dealing with as leaders. Planning. And every single member of parliament is a member of an assembly. And all these decisions are taken at the assembly level. So let's offer leadership at that level. I believe that if we offer leadership at that level, we'll go a long way to try and then solve the problem. But not to politicize the president sitting in a helicopter just so that he can have an aerial view of the flooding that has taken place. Not to politicize people who have died as a result of the helicopter. And lastly, on the issue of the money, let me address that. It is true that the account has been garnished, but you know very well that the public financial management legislation makes provision for the finance minister to be able to make variations and draw the money from other sources. So don't assume that because there is a garnish order, there is no other source for the money. And what the Minister for Government Communications said is that the minister came to this house to obtain permission, and permission was granted for him to draw from that account. If he goes back and finds out that that account is not available, the minister has the discretion. He has the discretion to make temporary arrangements to deal with an emergency. And he can, via other allocations in the budget, and allocate it so that later on when he deals with the problem with the garnished account, he can then send the money back.
Majority Leader, since you are on this point, your colleague was on his feet. Yes, please, let me listen to you.
Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader is making a very serious statement that have constitutional consequences. Mr. Speaker, is the Majority Leader saying that the Public Financial Management Act allows the Minister of Finance to vary resolution of Parliament and decision of Parliament? Mr. Speaker, there's a world of difference between virement and variation. Mr. Speaker, the Majority Leader must be careful. Mr. Speaker, he should point to which provision in the Public Financial Management Act where the Minister of Finance can come here under Article 177, and when that approval is given, he can choose, because government slept on its job, because government could not defend the state, and there was a garnishing order against the government. Mr. Speaker, it is the duty of government to put in place the necessary legislation to protect the contingency fund. Mr. Speaker,
please.
How can the leader of government business claim that the Minister of Finance can vary orders of this house? So they've withdrawn money from another source. That is what he's telling us and justifying. Mr. Speaker, he should quote the law.
Please.
Quote the specific provision.
Please.
Quote the law.
Minority Leader, you are a lawyer. Your colleague, Majority Leader, is also a lawyer. At least, as lawyers, do you know of any law which permits the contingency fund to be garnished? In law.
Speaker, I'm able to respond. Mr. Speaker, a good question. And that question goes to the Attorney General. Because you are representing the state. Why did you have the judiciary? You remove the Chief Justice. The entire judiciary is in your arm. You have the whole judiciary. The CJ is your baby. He's following you everywhere. Why would you sit down for them to garnish government account? Mr. Speaker, the entire judiciary is controlled by you. You control the judiciary.
Yes, Majority
Is it only
Leader.
on criminal prosecutions? Mr.
Yes.
Speaker, so the judiciary ruled against you. What did you do? The
Minority
Attorney General
Leader,
should brief the House.
Minority Leader, I've heard you.
He should brief the House.
Majority Leader,
Come
yes.
and brief us how the garnishing order came by.
Minority Leader, I've heard you. Yes,
Mr.
Majority
Speaker,
Leader, yes.
For the Minority Leader to stand in this chamber and tell the Attorney General and Minister of Justice that the judiciary is in his hands. Mr. Speaker, that he, the Attorney General, has removed the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a lawyer of no mean standing like him is telling this house that when MPP was in power, that the Chief Justice was in his hands, that he was directing the Chief Justice, that he was controlling the Chief Justice. Because unless he has controlled the Chief Justice and knows that Chief Justice is capable of being controlled, he cannot accuse others of controlling the Chief Justice. So he is claiming that when he was leader and when MPP was in government, he was controlling the Chief Justice, and that is how he got the Chief Justice to convene a court and then the court to rule against this house sitting at certain times. That's what he's suggesting. So he knows that the Chief Justice can be controlled. So is that what you are doing? Is that what you are doing?
Well, honorable members, we have come to the end of the comments on the statement, and we move on to the next items on the agenda of today, which is on the order paper.
So when you had see Ghana Parliament, Honomo Enra, Afenyo versus Mahama Ayariga, minority versus majority. Na enye easy, ewo Parliament Honomo. Ubeta chirewa june edi amame. Who made a whole lot of sense to you? Obumye no. Why na nensem na etowasum. Chirewa june mame ewo comment section. Ahi Penyah Media. Agra.